Hello and welcome to my latest Dad Thoughts video. It's been a very long time since my last video and I have a horrible excuse as to why that is. I was planning on starting to do video editing and all kinds of cool stuff, and unfortunately I did none of that. So I'm back to my original format. My location changed a little bit, and if you know me, that's a different story. But yeah, so back with videos. One thing that is changing, and it's not a permanent thing, but just I'm going to add to the content that I'm putting out. Normally, my subjects are, or my topics all deal with things I've done with my sons, hence dad thoughts. But also part of being a dad has been being a husband, and I also want to share some of those experiences. And I'm not some sort of expert on marriage, but I'm an expert at making mistakes in my marriage and usually learning from them. I do pretty good with that. And one of the things that helped me a lot was what I'm going to share with you today. Now, when we talk about relationships, uh, if I talk about my son, he started dating, a little bit over a year ago, and that's that teenage kind of relationship. This works for that, what I'm going to share. I've been married 20 some odd years, and I still have to use this thing. And, I have some friends that are divorced and getting back into the dating game, and, this comes in handy there too. So, what am I talking about? Well, it's an approach to a relationship. And the approach has to deal with when you start a relationship. We all know it's that honeymoon phase in the beginning, right? Oh my God, this person's perfect, and I accept you as you are. You're amazing, and that's great, and that lasts for a while. And you don't care that your partner's always 5 minutes late. That's kind of cute, and all these little things that don't bother you in the initial stages. Now you're 6 months, a year, maybe a few years into this thing. And all those things that didn't bother you in the honeymoon phase are now starting to creep up and bug you. So, if you think about a relationship like you're coming into a relationship and you have a suitcase, which is everything that you are, and your partner's coming in with their suitcases, and that's everything that they are. But from that moment forward, when you guys come together, for your journey to go forward, you need to put all those things into one suitcase. So what's got to happen? Something's got to go. Something's got to go, or else this thing is not going to work, or it's not going to work, to the best way possible. So we have to give things up, and that's true in life, right? Life is all about compromise, not just romantic relationships. In work, there's compromise. Raising your kids, there's compromise. Dealing with your friends, there's compromise. There's always compromise, and a relationship is no different. So, people like to say, "I'm this way," and I'm not going to change for anybody. Well, that's not a true statement. All right, it may be true. Maybe you're never going to change, but it doesn't mean you can't change. Like, you can't just say, well, my father was like this, my mother was like this, my grandparents were like this, and this is the way I am, and take it or leave it. Uh, that's not cool, right? We can all make an effort to make these changes, to discard those things that are going to bring us problems. But, a relationship doesn't have to be a constant battle all the time, right? So listen to your partner. You may think that you're one way. I mean, I go through this all the time. I don't think I'm a certain way the way my wife is describing me, but if that's what she's telling me that she sees, that's what she perceives, and that's her reality. So maybe I can start making an effort to change things a little bit, to discard those things that aren't perfect, so that I can fit everything into that suitcase. And guys, it's not just you. I tell my wife the same thing. She has stuff, and it's an honest conversation. It's like, I don't like this. If you can please, take a look at this and reevaluate something, because it's a constant work keeping this suitcase, full with just a mix of our stuff. And the better you are at that compromise, at fitting everything to that suitcase, it makes relationships easier. I mean, it's never easy to have a relationship, don't get me wrong. But if you make a little bit of effort, or a lot of effort, depending on where you're at, it pays off big dividends, right? So there's no reason to say that you're just set in your ways. You may be set in your ways, but you can change. And the easy part is deciding. The hard part is actually changing. And I'm speaking from experience. But if you decide to change, you can start taking steps, and things just get easier. Get easier the more you do it. It's a habit that you can work on. So, as usual, hopefully this helps. Um, you know, Fellas, we have stuff we can work on. Ladies, you have stuff you can work on. And if you're in a relationship, that means that's you and somebody else working on making each other happy, you know? So make the best of it. And if it takes a little bit of sacrifice, everything in life takes sacrifice. Again, whether it's a job, raising kids, hanging out with your friends, there's a compromise. There's a little bit of a sacrifice. I want to go eat Italian. I want to go eat Japanese. You know what? Let's go eat Cuban food. There we go. All right, right? We work it out somehow. It's that simple. So hopefully this helps. And if you like the video, by the looks of my channel, I don't think anybody likes it. But surprisingly enough, I run into a lot of people and they're like, man, I really like your video. So I hate to sound like those channels that my kids watch all the time, but if you like it, go ahead and give me a like. If you want to subscribe, go ahead and subscribe. All right, until next time, hopefully it doesn't take me like another 7 months to get a video out. Take care.